So, welcome. And if you're watching the replay of this, hi. Yeah, Carol, gosh, you are just you are just so incredible in your commitment to yourself and showing up. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I get to share this with you. And I'm so grateful that you're part of my community. So, thank you so much for being here. You're welcome. Okay, well, truth time, you guys. Um, I want to bring you really, I want to bring you into my own experience and some of the challenges that I'm having right now. Um, as being a woman, just being alive right now, and I'm doing so because more and more when I'm sharing my emails or I'm sharing videos, I feel like I'm coming from a place of having it all figured out, but I really don't. And I've been really having a difficult time, particularly with my business and my community, not knowing, well, having an idea of what I want to share, but not really loving what I'm doing. I mean, what I love to do is share authentically and bring you into experiences where I'm bringing you into my life because my life has been created through incredible adversity, incredible tribulations, and I really have created my entire life through the breakdown of an old life, and I've created everything that I have today. And I created it, and a lot of it didn't work out. A lot of what I've tried in my life, a lot of what I've goals that I've set out to have, they haven't worked out when I wanted them to work out. And my disposition as a woman is that I understand that it begins and ends with me, that I'm the if it's going to happen, it's up to me, right? And that can feel like a considerable amount of pressure looked at it in that fashion. Camera. I mean, I'm sitting in my bedroom. I just got done cooking. I didn't eat the pizza, but my husband brought home one of my favorite pizzas. It's called something, it's a gluten-free pizza, but it's got like cheese in the crust above the crust or something like that. He brought that home for me last night and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really want to eat it this morning." But instead, I stayed true to what my goals are. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But um, speaking authentically, I mean, yesterday was a really difficult day. I had my client calls, but nothing was flowing, nothing was working. And I got really frustrated. On top of that, I was exhausted. I haven't been sleeping very well. I'm in menopause, which is another whole thing that I can't even fathom because there's so much of me that feels incredibly young and really, some days I can really tap into that playful childhood spirit. So the fact that I'm 49, almost 50 is blowing my mind. And yet, I believe I have an extraordinary life and I'm grateful for the life that I have. And I want to share more about how to create a life that you have balance in. And more, I'm realizing as I'm tapping deeper into my own layers, still going deep, still doing the deep work, is that when you go deep, into the layers of yourself, you realize that there's so many different facets of you and that you can be all of them. And sometimes you're being all of them at one time. And I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but feeling like you're that little child, but also feeling like you're an adult with these really big, obligations, and trying to make that balance for me lately has been really difficult. And so um, yesterday I almost gave up on my company. Yesterday, I almost sent an email out to my community just saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to support you. I don't know what you like. I don't know what you don't like. Um, because I feel like every day I show up, even in even the days that I don't really want to, I show up and I'm speaking to one of you. And if I'm speaking to one of you, I'm also feeling one of you, or even all of you, because you're in this energetic container with me, whether or not you realize it, but like we're sharing a life right now. And I just like, I want to just keep honoring why I'm here. Why didn't I go skiing today? Because that's what I thought I was going to do. Why didn't I send the email where I just said, you know what? I don't even want to do it anymore because I don't know if I'm actually making a difference. And then, Carol always shows up, right? And so I said, I'm going to do this, even if I do it for Carol. I know that Carol is here and she's showing up and she's growing and she's loving what I'm sharing and she resonates, and it's because Carol is me and Claire is me and Claire is Carol, and Jenny is, we're all in it together and we're sharing a human experience. And when I have bad days, I know that other people in the community are having bad days. When my heart gets blocked, which it has been lately, it's been blocked. I've been going inward. I've been feeling dark, and I don't like to feel that way, but I know that it's medicine, and I thankfully know how to cultivate those darker spaces. And I've been battling with this fine line between the light and the dark, and how to share with my community, not so that you get afraid of dark, hard places. And I also want to kind of give you a heads up. And I feel like it's my due diligence to do this, to let you know that we're in this timeline of life where whatever is not resolved inside of you, in terms of, you know, like whatever is not resolved, whatever is not completed, right? If it's healing that needs to be complete, if it's feeling emotions, if it's relationships that you need to complete, or for me, it's completing a vision that I have for myself. It's completing what what did I come into this earth to do? And um it really is to make a difference. I came in to make a difference. I came in as a way shower to share really powerful and helpful tools and skills to help people navigate hard times. And for so long, I resisted this because I wanted to be the one who was out there just like shining brightly and like sharing this magical world. And mind you, I do have that. There are times in my life where I'm literally walking through my life and I'm like, oh my God, I am living my inner dream. And I am living my inner dream. Being here with you guys is part of my inner dream. It's part of who I knew I was as a child, to help spread light in dark times. Being a coach and a teacher and a leader is just someone who I've always been. And I am incredibly ambitious And I am also equally incredibly hard on myself. So, meaning if my vision doesn't get created within the timeline that I think I want it to be created, or if there's hangups, if there's challenges, my my default mechanism is to beat myself up. And so I'm looking right now, my business is in a transition and I don't know who I am within this business other than the only thing that I can do is really start to bear all. And doing that, I there's so much content that I can share with you guys. So I wanted to let you know that I am creating a podcast. It's called Inner Radiance, and that's a work in progress. I'm going to be creating more courses that are that people can purchase. And to be honest with you, my bandwidth for coaching is getting very it's getting very tight. So I'm I'm like, where's my business going? What am I doing? What am I supposed to be talking about? And it would be helpful if you guys could kind of chime in because you're people who are showing up. Um, I I want to talk about the things that most leaders aren't talking about because I feel like I'm here to prepare people on all different levels, wherever you are, for rising up. Because the only way to go right now for humanity is up. We can't go down much further. Meaning, the trajectory of our humanity, we need to go up in vibration. And to go up in vibration, we have to know how to navigate the darkness. And this is what I kind of want to share about where I was, where I have been, so that you can understand that in the darkness, that's where you actually find the key. And I had a dream many weeks ago, and I do want to start doing like sharing more. Maybe it's a blog or a video, a vlog. My daughter would love if I did a YouTube vlog because she's doing them. But it like to share about my experience and how my soul is um, showing me future timelines and things to share. But oftentimes I don't have the information until I'm actually living the reality. So this is what I saw, and this is also correlating my experience, and I believe is correlating my community's experience. Not everybody, but some. And I want to create things that are actually going to help you rather than just saying, hey, this is me and I'm living my dreams and this and that. I totally am, but I also struggle hardcore and I have been struggling hardcore. Thankfully, because I've created tools and I have a support system and I have coaches, I'm able to pull myself out of things, and I understand what the key to life is. And I'm going to talk about what that is as well. So at any time during this, you guys, if I strike upon a chord that you want me to go deeper into, if this is relevant and helpful for you, I'd really love to know because you guys are my family. Like, I know that we're all mirroring each other. We're all part of this together. And when I wanted to shut down my business last night, I realized that I needed to shut down. I needed to shut down. And, a course of many challenges last night was, the just go to bed, go to bed and start anew. And even after I went to bed last night, I tossed and turned. I didn't sleep well. I was up at 4 a.m. trying to get comfortable in my body, trying to quiet my mind, and went back to bed at 7 a.m. I had no interest in like snuggling with my husband. Usually that's the first thing I do. I'm like, wow, I just am really, really in this dark place. And so what I did was I just went with it. I went all in with it. I went all in with it, and I covered myself up after my husband went to work, and of course my dog was all over me trying to get his cuddles in. And um and then I kind of just settled in, and I saw all of this commotion, and I was feeling all this inner commotion, and I said, okay, who am I? Right? Who am I? And I was like, all right, well, I know I'm here for a mission. I know I'm here to help change the world. And I feel so insignificant, right? I feel like I'm not doing the things to the capacity that I can do them. And that's what makes me feel really overwhelmed. And that's what makes me want to stop, because I think that I need to be further along, or that I have to have it all figured out. And so when I go into the things that I think I should be doing, or already have created, or already have figured out, it leads to overwhelm. And when that happens, I'm pulling myself out of the present moment, right? And when I pull myself out of the present moment, I look at everything that hasn't been created or hasn't been done, or things that I don't know, and I can get incredibly um, frustrated with myself. I get frustrated with myself. I get frustrated with God. And so that's where I was last night. And and that's where I was this morning. But as I was lying in bed, I thought an image came to my mind of a version of me that I really resonate with, and I really love, something I really love about myself. And I want you guys to think about this. I want you guys to think about, because it's so easy to say, I haven't been able to do this, or this isn't working out, or, I don't have the relationship yet, or, I'm feeling lost, or this and that. But really, the key to life, and this is the key to life, is to find one thing that is working, or one thing that makes you feel really good. So for me, it is the fact that I love skiing, and I get to ski with my husband. And we were supposed to go skiing today, but it didn't work out. But I'm okay with that. And so what I did is I focused in on what I love to do. And because I was focusing in on the things that I didn't love to do. I was focusing in on, I don't want to do anything with my business. I want to shut it all down. Um, I don't want to hang out with my husband. So I focus on one thing that absolutely thrills me, excites me. I would get out of bed to do it. I would do the hard things to be able to do this thing. And that is skiing. Okay, that's what it is for me. And I said, okay, well, if I could build an entire life around skiing, what would that look like? What would it look like? First of all, how would I feel every day if I could build my life around skiing? Which at some point in my life, that's all I wanted to do. So if that's all I did every day was ski, who would I need to be committed to that? And all of a sudden, things for me started to shift out of despair, self-loathing, anger, like not wanting to face the day, wanting to put my head under the cover, and pack it in. Hi, Yasmin. Um, I started to focus on what I could do to be the version of the version of me that I wanted to be. Okay. And so, all right, I have time freedom. I can do whatever I want. I took the day off already, and I said, all right, well, who is Carrie, the person who is making skiing a priority? What does she do? No, she works out. So that's the first thing I did. I made sure that I had a really good breakfast, like you know how Wheaties used to be the breakfast of champions, right? Well, I made myself a breakfast of champions. I made myself protein and carbohydrates, and I made sure that I had adequate fuel. I did have a delicious cup of coffee, and I had some water. And then I got in my workout clothes and I went downstairs to the basement and I did a workout. Now I'm thinking to myself, do I push myself or do I just allow myself to be okay with the amount of work that I did rather than saying you didn't do enough or you have to do more or exhaust yourself or burn yourself out. I said, you know what? No, that's good. I did a great job. Pat myself on the back. Okay. What else? If I love my life and I'm living in the mountains and I get, I get to own my day and I'm living this healthy, happy lifestyle, what do? Well, I do things that make me happy. Every day, I do things that make me happy. Instead of doing the hard things and focusing on the hard things, and because those things don't make me feel good, right? My business it wasn't making me feel good. But yet here I am because I shifted. I shifted out of doing the things that feel hard and making myself do the things that are hard because I started to see the signs. And the signs that things were really, really hard was I was thinking where, things aren't working. I don't love what I do. Um, I was hating my career yesterday and I wanted to stop. I wrote the email out. I'm like, hey, I'm taking a break. I can't do this anymore. And so focusing in on what I love and committing to that is the key to everything. Focusing in on what you love and committing to that is the key to everything. It was that decision over 10 years ago now that got me out of a dysfunctional marriage. And the dysfunctional marriage was me being married to me. My ex husband was my mirror. And remembering that there are many versions of myself, but that I want to honor the version of myself that feels the best. And with that also comes the knowing and the expectation that getting there is not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good. It's actually hard work because of the resistance that you and I are programmed with that makes it so easy to not do the thing that you love. Because if you're here in this community and if you're resonating with the diamond code, it also means that there's a version of you who really who is dark, who's dreary. And the diamond frequency is what the attraction and the allure is. And the diamond frequency is actually the thing, doing more of the things that you love, consistently. And that's what the key to life is right now. And if you can master the key to life, which means you got to wade through, you got to be willing to be in the dark to find that teeny tiny little morsel of light. And that's the pathway. And that pathway opens up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And that's where things start to shift. So again, I'm just sharing a little bit of there's so many metaphors. My life is a metaphor that I could share for this. But in truth, there's two pathways and then there's the bridge. There's one pathway where life feels really, really hard and you want to get out of that. right? We all want to get out of that. But the bridge to get to that other reality, that's not a cakewalk because you're taking yourself and all of you and your entire life and you're crossing that bridge. And as you cross that bridge, you have to let go of the things that don't work for you. And the letting go of the things that don't work for you, that can be an arduous process. That can be an arduous process. And I think right now, what I'm feeling more and more of, and I had an interview with an astrologer, a brilliant astrologer, and we were really talking about how freaking hard it is right now to um, to shift, particularly if you're doing it by yourself, because the the energy right now is bringing us it's bringing us inward to look at some of those things that we don't want to look at. And I'm going to go back to one of the foundational tools that I learned through studying the science of happiness and learning the foundational work of being a whole being. And this stuff really resonated with me, is that in order to reach high levels of joy and happiness, number one, you have to seek them. You actually have to go for them. You have to create them. You have to, it takes momentum and it takes courage to actually create a happy life. Because think about how long the patterns of unhappiness, if you're anything like me, my patterns of unhappiness, they still show up. And they were really deep because I had a lot of deep, I didn't come into this world really happy, to be honest with you. I didn't come into this world happy. It was like when I came into this world, I was like, fuck. Oh man. But I'm jumping around a little bit, but I want to share this because I think you guys will resonate. But within my, oh crap, I'm here. Like, it's like my soul knew that I was here to like go through darkness in order to find my light and this and that. And I was like, oh God. And I still have times in that. That's how I was last night. I'm like, really, really, do I have to keep doing this? But yes. Why? Because there's a pathway. We're supposed to find the pathway, and the pathway is what lights you up. It's it's who you were as a kid and the things that you used to do as a kid that light you up. So for me, it was sports. It was skiing. Ami, I'm glad you're here because I want to clarify something that I shared last Sunday when I was talking about ski racing and how I am a born competitor. And that's something that as an athlete, I just have, I came in thinking that pushing myself and the thrill of, you know, setting goals, personal goals, physical goals, those things thrilled me. And so when I get into that space, it kicks my adrenaline in and it brings me into a peak energy, right? And so, you know, I've been talking about how skiing lately has been the thing that has just been like, oh my gosh, I get to ski and I love it. It feels so good and it really brings me into this magical place. It did that for me as a kid. And we're talking about what is the key to life. It's remembering that that is all in us. We don't, it's not outside of us. It's in us. That spark of life, the key to life is in us. And when we do the things that we love to do more than we do the things that we don't love to do, and we also, this is the key to happiness, the science of happiness, we also allow ourselves to be in the doldrums, to be pissy, to be frustrated, and to be with ourselves during that time, to not beat ourselves up, but just understand that in order to get high, you got to go low. And right now we're in highs and lows. We're also in a place where we can't predict anything. And every single minute Every single moment is something new that we get to create, but that things are changing rapidly. And within the change, the power that we have is that we can discern what feels good to our soul and what lights us up, and what doesn't feel good, and start to follow what feels good. Start to follow people who feel good. Start to eliminate people in your life that don't feel good. Start to make bold choices, right? And those bold choices might be letting go. And I can't say this enough that there's layers to letting go. Because we're moving into, being asked to become new beings. And these new beings are people who have higher frequencies, have greater capacities, who are on purpose, right? So if you want to know what your soul's purpose is right now, follow your happiness, follow your joy. Do more things in your life that feel good. And also allow yourself the permission to have bad days. Because that's why I'm here, because my day started bad. But then I remembered that I had power over that. And I started to make little choices to be the person who I was proud of. And at the end of the day, those choices add up. Is this helpful for you guys? Resonates totally. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we're human. The human experience right now, the human experience is really calling it's like all of us forward. It's calling our dreams forward, and it's also calling the things that are blocking the dream forward. The things that are the more of the inconvenient things. It's also calling us to look at the things that we really haven't wanted to look at. And the key to life is that we have to look at those things. That's the other key to life, is that we're not getting out of anything without doing the work. And the work is the stuff that most people are avoiding. And I wish I could be the leader that's like, hey, everything's all sunshine and miracles. And it is. But the truth is that it's sunshine and miracles only after you've done the work. And what is the work? The work is choosing to become who you want to be versus allowing yourself to be the same person. So it's really learning how to get yourself unstuck. It's really about choosing who you want to be and getting yourself unstuck from the version of you who you don't want to be, because it will take change. It will take a new approach to life in order to create the bigger things that you want. And, you know, I'm going to be I'm going to start being more honest with this. And this is why I came on today. And I let you know, whoa, have I been having a horrible time. I've just been really struggling. And um, I, thank you, Carol. I, yeah, I just, not superficial cheerleader. Thank you. Yeah, I am not a superficial cheerleader. The people who have made the biggest difference in my life have been the people who have laid it out there for me and then allowed me to choose who I wanted to be, and then said, hey, you don't have to do this by yourself. Meaning, nothing in my life that I have achieved has come easily. It has been really hard. The hard part did not come from the like following my joy and happiness. The hard part came from allowing myself to actually have the things that I wanted to have, like to actually go for it, to actually learn to trust myself, to actually grow up. And I say this a lot, and if I haven't said it in a while, another key to life is that you have to become responsible for whatever the blessing that you have. And it won't come to you because you want it. It will come to you because you become a vibrational match to it. And understanding energy and frequency is really another key to life. You understand that what you're resisting, um, what you're resisting is what you keep present in your life. So looking back on last night and even this morning, the field of resistance that I had around me was like breaking things, spilling things. I was tripping over things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, is that a big field of resistance? So to go into and understand what resistance does is resistance is only asking you to go inward and just say to yourself, okay, we need some attention, we need some love, we need to surrender into a place of trust, and we need to let go of control. Sometimes we have to have our emotions, and our emotions are really powerful. Um, I loved doing the rage room a couple weeks ago. That was really fun. But we're in a place of, wow, okay. I mean, I'm feeling it every day, you guys. I talk to my clients about this too. And I know that I have to start talking about this more transparently, um, because this is life. Within that, we have the power to create our own realities and to coexist with the version of us and the life that we haven't yet mastered, that we haven't manifested, the things that still aren't working out, the the relationships that aren't working out, the things that feel hard and off. We have to we have to build we have to shift our relationship and our perception with all of these things. Um, and that's stuff that I do with my clients, because the way that you relate to yourself is how you relate to everything. And more and more, more and more, I'm seeing that we're going into um, shadows, places where we see these versions of ourselves that surface and we're like, oh, wow, she's still here. Like, ooh, okay. Well, what do we do? What do we do with her? Well, how would you treat your best friend if she was having a raunchy day and she was just sad? It's like when I spilled the coffee all over the couch last night. That was the last thing I wanted to do. And my sweet husband knew. And he said, I've got this, you go to bed. So surrounding yourself with people who understand you and who can mirror that unconditional love back to you is really important. And that's one thing that I I share within my coaching communities is that I go through these things too. um, it's normal, and we have power within our emotional field and within those everyday things, um, those it's getting really more apparent that as as we move along on this trajectory of life and we remain focused on our dreams and our visions and what lights us up, and we make it our priority to incorporate those things into our day, and we also have tools and skills to empower us and to help us lift ourselves up and remember that happiness, joy, peace, purpose, that is an inside job, that nothing outside of us is responsible for how we carry ourselves through the day, what our perception is. That's all something that comes from within. And one of the things that I've learned so much is that we can change our inner landscape by 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 turning on our love, by awakening ourselves from within. And that's why you guys are here, because that is the magic that I have and the ability that I have, irregardless of whether or not I'm having a good or a bad day. I can tap into the channel of energy that awakens the field of energy. And that has been the game changer for me, because my disposition is that I was not happy. I was not a happy kid. I found happiness in things that, you know, excited me, thrilled me, obviously, but I was very just, I I wasn't, um, I didn't have a lot of confidence in things that were new to me. I didn't have very high self esteem for a very long time. I mean, I was in a relationship where I gave a lot of my power away for many, many, many years. And then when I realized that it was up to me to change that, I had a lot of work to do. And I worked diligently with a coach who was hand holding me, hand holding you guys for years. And then I said, okay, I want to start a business. And it was hard to start this business. And everybody told me it was going to be easy. People told me, I felt like they gave me like a raw deal, and I was so excited. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm just going to go from this to this." And it was hard. Why was it hard? Because I had to grow. I had to grow up. I had to grow courage. I had to trust myself. I had to learn how to follow my intuition. I had to learn to stick with myself, because I want to quit a lot. And I wanted to quit yesterday. And so for me, it's like every minute of every day, I'm looking at what's my big vision. Okay. Huge vision, huge goals, personal, family, business goals, and what is going to work to get me closer to those goals every day. And some days I do them, some days I don't. But when the shit starts to crash to the ground like it did last night, I'm like, okay, I'm going inward, I'm going deep, and I'm going inward. And I'm going to figure out, okay, what is this all about? And it was about so I could deliver this message to you. So whatever I go through, I am thinking in the back of my mind and in my heart, how can I share this with other people? And where am I relative? Somebody needs to know this information. But the issue that I've been having is I haven't been giving you all the information. I haven't been talking about what it really takes. And that's my bad. And I think that's why I've been having such a hard time relating to you guys, is because I like to show you what's the end result. Everybody shows you the end result, but they don't actually let you know that the end result comes from years worth of work. an incredible investment in time and energy and resources. And for people who have a difficult time um, growing, meaning you have a lot of resistance, like me, it takes a village to raise a child up so that she can be who she wants to be. And the version of you that doesn't want to go along, she's also going to be with you all the time. And some days it is easier. Some days some days are so high, and you guys, this is why it matters so much for you to hear this, because in order to get to the gift, the blessing, the incredible marriage and the wedding on the beach that I saw in my dreams when I was a kid, the trips, the experiences with families, the bliss and all of that, in order to get that, you also must be willing to be in the muck, because that's where you plant yourself. That's where you plant yourself, and nobody wants to be in that muck. Everybody wants to be out of that as fast as possible, but we cannot bypass that, because that's where it's created. That is where everything is created. And that's where a choice is made. The choice is made, do I stay in the muck, or do I grow up like a seed and expand? Growing is making new choices. Growing means letting go of people. Growing means facing your fears. Growing means people not liking you. Growing means your parents getting frustrated at you. Growing means your husband not understanding you. And the thing about me that makes me different, I think, from a lot of people is that I did that, and I had the tools and the skills, not only to face the adversity, but to make my life exponentially better, all in all different places. Okay. And so here's what that looks like. The way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. And my heart came into this world in a world of darkness, feeling sad, feeling scared, feeling lost, feeling alone, feeling like nobody understood me, feeling like the odd person out. I always felt like I was on the outside of everything looking in, and I still do. It's because I have a different perspective. And where was I going with this? um, it was lonely. That's what I want to say. It was lonely, and it is still lonely. And the more I get in touch with the fact that it is still lonely and share truth about what I go through, I feel like the more the difference I'm going to be able to make, because you guys aren't going to be just chasing some like, you know, eh, some untangible thing and thinking that you can have it without actually doing the work and all the different places. So doing the harder work, the quote unquote harder work, is just really about feeling the feelings and facing the fear, and understanding that on the other side of the fear, that's where life actually begins. Fear is just what's separating you from you. And when you connect with the desire and the courage and the tenacity and the trust in yourself, and you do the thing that the majority of people are not doing, because I'm not speaking to a majority, I'm speaking to a minority of people who are going to have the courage to do the thing, whatever it is. And know that the thing is going to get you where you want to go, but that the thing is also going to unravel you, shake you, stir you, make you question yourself, until you start doing that thing over and over and over again. And you start to understand that the people who doubt you or challenge you or call you crazy or, have all of these things to say to you, that eventually you will become a version of yourself where you're able to acknowledge with gratitude that they actually helped you become who you are. I look at the I look at the relationships that have fallen apart for me, including a time in my life where I excommunicated myself with most of my family members because I was ashamed that my family fell apart. I was so ashamed and I felt so guilty that I didn't want to be around any of my cousins, any of my aunts, my uncles. My parents were so devastated. And at the same time, what I was focusing in on was learning how to grow myself up out of feeling ashamed, guilty, and feeling like I had to live for other people's, live for other people. And I started to say, what is going to make me feel the most incredible? Um, Business ownership, making a difference in the world, traveling the globe. I was focusing in a lot on my passions, which the diamond code, the infinity code, all of these energy frequencies that were, really making an incredible difference in my personal life. And what happened was I got to a point where I really people didn't impact me anymore. How people perceived me, they didn't impact me. In fact, coming into my husband's family at a time where he had just lost his wife and basically just being by his side the entire time, there was an incredible um, judgment on me. Everybody's looking at me. Who is this woman? I didn't have my children with me at the time, and everybody was asking me, where are her kids? I shared my whole story. I shared my story with them that I had lost custody of my children and that I had then let them choose who they wanted to live with. And there was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubt. Who is this person? But I was transparent. And I did so from a place of, I don't have anything to hide. And more, I'm realizing I don't have anything to hide. I can show up in front of anybody and tell them my life story and say, I've had some really, really hard things happen to me, and they built me. For most people, they would break them. For me, it built me. And because of that, I have built a life that can't be taken down or broken and is just continuing, even though I have difficult times, to get better. So when I go through a period of really hard days, I know that it's just a matter of time until whatever, because I see God, I see my dreams, I see myself going, oh my gosh, and smiling and grinning because there's some incredible breakthrough happening. The breakdown of who you were happens before the breakthrough. And you guys, if you don't have breakthrough skills, and if you don't know how to break down so that you are building yourself up, those are skills that are going to be invaluable in now and forever, especially if you're like me and if you're like my clients who have a big vision. And if that big vision um, is not happening immediately for you, it's going to crush your ego. And the ego is just the version of you that needs to have it all figured out, needs to know it all. And that's the piece where transformational skills and understanding that, honey, we're on a soul journey here and you've got no control. You've got no control. And more, we have no control. I'm just looking at my day and how it was supposed to be one way. And then all of a sudden, completely different. right? And I'm just looking at me and how I feel one moment this way and the next moment completely different. And the vacillation is like, whoa. And we're on a ride right now, my loves. And I don't want to scare you because, you know, the right approach to all of this is going to it's going to bring out the best, and it is meant to bring out the best of us. um and yeah, we're going to go through some stuff. We're going to go through some stuff, so it's about how you want to go through it and what you want to create as a result of what you're going through. Okay, so I want to give you some encouragement. I want you to harness your inner champion. I want you to harness your inner champion. I want you to remember your childhood dream. Remember the fantasy. Remember what was so easy and fun for you as a kid. And I want you to start doing that more and more and more. And if you are having difficulty, then reach out to me because you might need to waken her up a little bit. Back in the day when I was so stuck, I couldn't even remember what my dream was. But then all of a sudden it was like it was time for my dream to wake up, my inner dream. And this is the work that I'm bringing into the world. There's the dream that our parents had. You're welcome. I love you. I had all the fear of growing up. Cool. Thank you guys. Okay. So to remember the dream that you have, and remember that that dream is also what you are meant to be living. And to create that dream, you are going to have to grow up. And the growing up part is what is the most difficult part. That is where you meet yourself, and the version of you who is not yet ready for that dream must become ready. And that's the bridge. That's where you bring your fears along with you as you keep going and you keep choosing the things that light you up. There are also going to be things along that pathway that you are not going to want to do, but you will have to do in order to get to the places that you want to go. Okay. And the key to life is that you just hold on to the vision that you have and you keep going, irregardless of what is standing in your way. And the other key to life is that you embrace where you are now. And if you're in a holding pattern like me, I'm in a holding pattern because I don't know what's next. Then you try to find joy in everyday things, simple things. And by God, please learn how to be nice and kind to yourself. Even if it comes after you have a little temper tantrum or you put yourself to bed because you just can't stand yourself anymore, but you can still find a little ounce of self-love and self-acceptance like I did this morning. It's like, whoa, Carrie, okay. Ooh, all righty. Let's go, honey. Let's make some choices. Who do you want to be today? And you can be both. You can be the miserable girl, and I wasn't mean to anybody, but I was just not loving myself. Or you can say, okay, who is that inner champion today? What are the choices she's making? Is she going to quit her business? No. She's going to go into her business. She's going to share this. This is valuable. She going to eat a whole pizza? No, but I am going to eat pizza later tonight. She going to work out because she wants to be fit and she wants to be the inner champion? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to eat a healthy lunch, and I'm going to get my mindset straight again. And I'm going to start to focus on a forward plan of action. Okay. So if this stuff is resonating with you guys, and if you want some support with this, I am here for you. I don't have a link to share. I am going to be traveling on Saturday. I'm actually going on vacation, and I'm not going to be doing any calls. I think I have a couple call spaces open tomorrow and Friday. If you want to start to shift, if you resonated with anything that I share with you, um, and if not, that's okay too. I really appreciate you guys being part of my community. I want to know if sharing this type of stuff is beneficial for you so that you can kind of get a greater understanding of what is going on, because I think there's just a lot of leaders out there that are saying one thing and maybe doing the other, and I just always had this vision where you guys would be part of my home, and you're my family. And if I were to, treat you like a daughter or a sister, how do I share with my sister, not my biological sister, but my soul sisters? We share everything. And how do I share with my husband? We talk about things, the good and the bad. And even with my children, I am so grateful to have a teenager who comes to me and says, Mom, what would you do in this situation? And she listens because I have been authentic with my kids about life. And there's no rose colored glasses, there's only what you choose, and what you focus on grows. And how you navigate the shitstorm of life is really important. It's it's really going to determine whether or not you sink or swim. And um, I can't say that enough, that having transformational leadership tools, if you're not able to lead yourself to having a crappy day, to then being able to preach about it and teach about it and share about it from a place of authenticity and love, but you want to be that, you want to be a leader, you want to stand out, then I'm really more and more, my clients are leaders. They're incredibly ambitious and they are willing to grow. They're willing to follow their dreams. They're willing to um, embrace the mess and the chaos. They're willing to do hard things because you don't get anywhere on that bridge. Remember, the bridge is where you are now and where you want to be. And what's on the other side of the things that you don't want to do or the fears that you're facing is the actual thing that you want. And it's not all sunshine and roses. It takes work. Okay. All right, you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Thank you for being here. Um, Man, that pizza is really calling to me, but I'm not going to eat it. Definitely resonate. Okay. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out more about how to work with me, some of my programs, you guys can email me if it's something that you want. If not, I hope this was helpful for you. Mwah. You are so welcome.